This is a channeled timeless collective reading for you when you see it. How are you doing? I've got channel messages that came through ahead of time from my spirit guides, the angels, and source. And my spirit guides, the angels, and source will bring through any additional information that's for your highest good as we go through these. And your spirit guides will jump in only if it's for the highest good for both of our systems, etc. So the first message that came through for you, or the first thing they like to bring me to here, they're kind of showing me the heart, and it's about, in some ways, heart healing. There's a lot being removed from your heart center, such as trauma or even old memories or just things that don't belong there, so you can keep your heart open. It's also a good idea to keep your heart open at this time and just kind of maybe keep a gauge on it, check in with your heart, ask it how it's doing. And if you're intuitive or channel, like you guys like, how are you doing, heart? And you'll get like a little, I'm doing well, or something like that. Sometimes that can show up that way when you channel, or maybe you'll get an intuitive visual. However you work is however you work. But I'd be paying attention to your heart center and working to keep it open. That's going to keep you magnetic, drawing good things in, bringing you to what's for you, etc. And it can be tempting to close down our hearts with maybe some of the things that are going on in the world, or things that have happened around you, or with certain parents or things like that. But I challenge you to keep your heart open and see what shifts as you stay in love, in higher frequencies, and stay in your knowing and operate from there instead of closing down out of fear or for whatever reasons. And if you need to set boundaries in order to help you keep your heart open with certain people, or take more time for yourself, more self-care, whatever it is, do it. It's worth it. Again, it keeps you more magnetic, as in you're drawing in more good things for you that belong with you, that would be for the highest good. The other message they're showing me, which is different than what I had done ahead of time, is like opening your mind as well. Weird message, but keeping your heart open is going to keep your mind open for the highest good, to what spirit is showing you, what the universe is trying to do for you. I'm even getting like what certain people are trying to tell you, but it's in a good way. This is a positive thing. So I feel like keeping your heart open is a key right now, and any self-work you need to do to make that happen would be good. The first message that came through ahead of time besides that, now they're showing me lightning as well. And let me see what they would like to say with the lightning here. It is a quick message about redirection. If you've been facing a lot of redirection, it's going to resolve soon. Like you're going to land soon and know what to do, which is good. And now we'll begin with the first message that came through ahead of time. It was about a new start. So if you have had like false starts in the past, like you start doing something and then it like doesn't quite work out, or like maybe you start posting on social media and then you stop, or like maybe you partner up with someone to do this business and then they kind of like drop out after a month, and you're like, well, so you have like these false starts that don't go anywhere, and then you have to like restart. You are getting new starts that actually happen and like go, so you are not hopeless. You have new beginnings and new starts happening that can and will really change your world if you keep going. You might not see these coming in yet, but you will. Some of you know exactly what we're talking about. So some of you, you see this coming in, you're actively working towards it. Some of you, like you just don't see it yet, or don't see it coming yet, but a lot of new starts and new beginnings that lead to good things is what I'd say. So if you're heading towards that, keep heading towards that is what I'd say. Don't give up. The next message, they gave me the word pure, and they gave me the word pressure as well as the word diamond. They said, you are being turned into a diamond and you're becoming pure. The universe, spirit, God, etc. are pressuring you into the diamond you're meant to be, are turning you into a gem, and are forcing or causing you to release any remnants of past darkness, impurity, things that don't belong, etc. so you can be who you are meant to be. The pressure is meant to grow you. Don't give in. Work with it. Swim with it. See what it's trying to show you and mold you into. You are not meant to fold, but to be turned into a diamond in the best of ways. So if you're facing a lot of pressure, you're being turned into a diamond. If you're feeling pressurized, or if you feel like there's any intensity heating up a little bit in your world, diamond is pretty much what they're saying. I don't feel like it's going to be overly much either. It's like just the right amount to metaphorically cook you, and not in a bad way where like you're burnt, or sometimes we talk about us getting cooked as it's a bad thing, but in this instance it's like cooking you into who you're meant to be, for instance. Or they keep showing me turkeys, like cooking a turkey perfectly or something like that, which is really interesting. But right now, if you feel like you have pressure on you, you're being turned into a diamond, who you're meant to be. Next message, they also said you are going to be releasing a lot in this next month or so, from whenever you're seeing this, but it's going to be very good. So you're going to be releasing a lot soon. That could have to do with the heart chakra message as well, but it could also be separate, like you're releasing trauma, or you're releasing old ideas or old worldviews that no longer serve your highest good and aren't, just aren't serving. So The next thing they showed me a sapphire, it was about throat chakra expansion. They said your creativity is expanding and you're getting a new boost in your creativity for the highest good. So there was also another message like, go create for source. Like, what would true highest and most infinite source like you to create? What would like to be created through you that would be for the highest good? You also have new beginnings coming, especially regarding creativity. So I like this question, like, what would source like you to create right now? Or maybe put this in a journal, like, okay, or just ask it to the universe, like, universe, what would you like me to create right now that would be for the highest good? Like, source, what would you like me to create? And that might lead you in a new direction to something I'm getting, or could help boost your creativity. If you feel like you're fighting the flow regarding your creativity, like maybe source wants you to go this way and you're like, no, I want to create this business selling mold or something. And source is like, no, go go do what you're meant to do. Just like sit with it for a second and allow yourself to kind of catch up with yourself, if that makes sense. Like maybe meditated on it for a certain amount of time and you'll start to align with source more for the highest good. If you feel like you're fighting the flow and fighting what source wants you to create, and you feel like you keep like crossing paths with this, like you just feel like you're not going anywhere because you're fighting the flow. Again, just sit with it and you'll align more and take some time to be, or maybe journal on it. The next thing they'd like me to get to here, they gave me a message they gave me the word sophistication, and they just said source is growing you up through realization about the past and also through current experiences, kind of like the pressure, but perhaps different. You are meant to be a grown being this lifetime, wise, intuitive, there, knowing, and not a metaphorical baby wandering through the world mad at everything for no reason because of their own story. Spirit is growing you. Take the lessons and move forward. So it might be a bit different for each of you. Some of you might have a lot of lessons right now that are growing you, and it could be part of like the molding and turning into a diamond, but I'm just getting a weird message, like you're meant to be like older and wiser this lifetime, but it's not like old, like decrepit. It's more like someone who has experience or someone who knows what they're doing and saying, and not just another person wandering around blabbing their mouth about whatever for no reason, thinking they know it all, if that makes sense. Like you're supposed to have actual knowing. And by there, I sort of mean like, I have my own understanding of like being like there. And by there, it's like connected to source, like fully connected to source, fully accurate, in tune. You know the truth. And by know, it's like intuit the truth, actually knowing the truth, not like, you know what I'm saying, even though you know what I'm saying. So you're supposed to be more there, not just someone who says words on a podcast and thinks they're right, or you're not meant to be someone who like thinks they're coaching and helping people, but you're running them into the ground and you're not like aware of like what's going on or what you're doing. Like, and I feel like you are aware, most of you tuning into this, like you know better, you would know better, but this is your confirmation you're supposed to be like that, like not just an average Joe Schmo or a normie, if you will. But you're just meant to be a bit more grown than most people, and not always, but sometimes it takes lessons to get us there. And sometimes we have to go through a bit more than the average person to get us there. Not always. I don't like to limit it. I don't like to say things have to be difficult in order to have this good thing. And I don't like to craft that as my experience necessarily. If that's how it's showing up, that's how it's showing up. But just realize that source is growing you right now. And again, this could be filled with ease. You might just be getting a lot of realizations, like, and then it kind of like shifts your worldview and shifts you, and you're showing up differently over time because of these realizations. So it's kind of it with that message. The next, they show me sauce, and they showed the universe kind of pouring this sauce with this ladle. And the message is that source is adding more flavor to your life and more sauce for the highest good. Life is going to be expanding more flavor-wise, metaphorically. So if life has been bland, it won't be much longer. I feel like source is expanding your world. Like there's new horizons, or it's like the beginner area of a video game. Like you kind of start out in this like tutorial section or this small portion of the map, but then there's this whole world to explore, and you kind of like unlock a new area or new areas or all the areas, and all of a sudden your world gets a lot bigger. There's more to experience, to taste, to run up against in a good way, if that makes sense. So I just feel like source is adding more fun to your life and more experience, more to go off of for your future, things like that. And sometimes you haven't found all of the things that are for you in life, such as maybe you think you're just supposed to build XYZ business to help people, but then there's like 10 other things for you that source has for you that just haven't come into play yet. And it's a timing thing, so don't think I want to be careful with this. I feel like on some level we know, and we all know everything. On the other side of it, don't feel like you realize all there is for you when there could be 10 times more than you expect, if that makes sense. And I feel like if you tune in with your knowing, you'll feel like that's true. So, and none of you have experienced everything you're here to experience as well. So what I'm hearing. Next message they have for you here, they gave me the word phantom, and they also gave like the phrase phantom pain. They just said, you are being freed from the hauntings of the past and the issues that crop up when you least expect them and stick you when you try to move forward or do anything of value to you in the world. The universe is removing the obstacles that have been keeping you from succeeding. And sometimes those are keeping us safe. There's a good reason that trip up is there, but those are being removed. I feel like the training wheels are coming off in certain ways, but you're ready for it. It's not like you're just going to fall. So a lot of the things that have been sticking you are leaving, which is fantastic. And a lot of these things that they're talking about are things that stick you as a surprise. Like you go to do something and you're like, past trauma, like you go to get, is what they're showing me. Like maybe you go to do a job and then like 10 flashbacks of everything that went wrong in the past and jobs show up. You're like, I can't do this, and you run away. So I feel like that's going to stop happening if anything like that has been happening for you, which is good. Next, they showed me corn and the word success. They said, don't give up on your success or your harvest. Metaphorically, you are going to harvest a big success, which is good in the future. I feel like this is in the next year. For some of you, this is within the next 60 to 90 days, which is good. But there are bigger successes coming than you realize. You just have to keep going and keep working and not give up. And they're showing like this follow your dreams meme I saw back in the day where it was like a sloth that would like be like, ooh, and there'd be like a rainbow. It'd be in outer space. It'd be like, follow your dreams would appear like as this sloth moved its arm in the air. And I feel like if you're doing that, you're going to succeed. If you're just taking a traditional route just to like make money or play it safe, you might want to consider following your dreams. And of course, sit with it intuitively, see what you're guided to do, but your dreams might have more for you than just following a traditional path. And if your dreams align with a traditional path, perfect. Go that direction, of course. But for many of you, you have something different and it's time to go that way. And I just feel like now is the time, is something I'm getting regarding that. And you don't have to like throw caution to the wind, leave your family, quit your job, be homeless for 10 months trying to figure it out, to follow your dreams. But you can start making the choices that lead you there. You can start doing the small daily habits, the small choices, the small changes that, compound and culminate into bigger choices and directions for you to get you to your dreams. You can take the small action steps that get the ball rolling. So now is the time to start pursuing your dreams, whatever that is. And if you don't know what that is, now's a great time to cultivate some self-awareness and build some awareness regarding those. And I feel like you all know where your dreams are, so I'd be surprised if any of you don't have some inkling of something you desire that's like a dream. The next message, they show me the color purple. They gave me the phrase purple skies, kind of like a sunset or sunrise. They said, your crown chakra is healing and expanding. You're going to have more source spirit, not like spirits, but spirit in your life dictating things, whereas before things may have seemed haphazard. They won't be haphazard. All is well is what they said here. So it pretty much is what they said. Spirit's coming into your life more strongly. Divine guidance is coming in more strongly. Your crown chakra is healing. I feel like if you're releasing the past, your crown chakra is going to be more expanded than ever, whatever that looks like for you, whether that's healing sessions where you just let things go or whatever you're doing. But if you're healing, that crown chakra is going to be expanding big time, which will be huge for you. It could be the next level of awakening or experience. It could be the next level of reality for you, like a higher and better reality. So it's almost like you're shifting dimensions to a higher dimension. Things are going to be better because of it is kind of what they're saying. So you might be going from like 5D to 6D or something like that. And I'll talk about it. I know a lot of people talk about like ascension and fifth dimensional consciousness and things like that. You can go higher. You're not limited to 5D. And I think sometimes it pays to not see ourselves as like, oh, I'm a little, someone might consider themselves as like a tiny little 3D person trying to do the 5D shift, blah, 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 blah. But I'm getting you can get to 5D pretty easily now if you're putting the work in, just the way the path has been paved by consciousness, by people doing the work, by whether it's ascension people or other people awakening. So it's very possible to go higher dimensional, and I feel like if you're doing that, you're going to see great rewards, and it could be great rewards that are physical. I feel like it's everywhere and everywhere in between, or it could be physical. It could just be like feeling so good about your life all the time, and that could just be one of the main shifts you're looking to make, is just like, I feel great about my life. I feel great about myself. I feel great all the time. Things are great, So I do feel like there are a lot of shifts coming to bring that in if you're doing the work, but if you are doing the work to shift your vibration to like a higher dimension or a higher dimension of consciousness, whatever you phrase it as, that's going to be great. Next message, they show me blue skies and clear skies ahead was a phrase they showed me. They said, there won't be a cloud in the sky soon, metaphorically. Spirit is giving you clear skies with which to take off, fly, and move forward quickly. Whereas before, maybe it took some time. It is time for a new paradigm and a new reality. We were kind of just talking about that, right? You were really getting the best this year is also what they said. That doesn't have to end this year, but for some reason they threw that in. You are really getting the best this year. So it kind of seems like if you've been dealing with turbulence, again, like the false starts, it's time for takeoff. It's time for flight. It's time to move forward. This year is a time of forward movement, and maybe there are still times that you need to like take breaks or take rest, throughout the year. That's fine. You don't have to be a machine or anything like that, but just realize you're going to have like blue, clear skies for a takeoff soon, which will be good. It could be like a venture or a business. It could just be moving forward with your life and like leaving something behind. You'll see. And they're showing someone like moving forward, and there's this like wake behind them, kind of like a boat through water throws off like that wake behind them. Weird message, but what would be less good to be said here? If you're making changes right now, it's going to be very impactful. So go with the changes that are showing up for you. Next, they show me a dog, and the message was, be loyal to you and your dreams, spirits, and what's truly for your highest good. Do not wander from this. Some people might convince you to be loyal to them instead of you and your soul, intuition, mission, dreams, reality, etc. Don't fall for that trap. Stay loyal to you and extend loyalty to others who are worthy of it, and prove that, but not before yourself. Got it? Is exactly what they said here. So they're again reiterating this like go for the highest good, go towards your dreams, like kind of message. And for some reason they're giving me the exact quote, like, be loyal to you and your dreams, not some random punk. It's pretty much what they said for whatever reason. So I don't know. I feel like if you're being loyal to you, you'll be successful. And so what does being loyal to you look like? You already get it. They're saying you already get it. So let's move on. But self-care could be important with that as well. Next, they said that spirit is steering you in a new direction. We already talked about this. They also just said, don't give up. Higher ways are coming. So at the risk of sounding redundant, just know that's happening. And there's just a couple more messages to get to here. They show me clouds, and they said, like, if you ever get overwhelmed, take time to just be, and the answer will come. Like, you don't need to force things. Sometimes sitting there for 10 minutes is all you need, and you get tons of realizations and ideas and all that stuff. So, and if you feel overwhelmed, again, just take time to just be. There was an expansion of the dog message as well, because they showed a dog with a Dalmatian. It was a Dalmatian with like the fireman hat, like the firefighter hat. There's just a clarification for you here that you are moving in the right directions. Keep going in the directions that best suit you. And yes, there could be, maybe there have been redirections. Maybe you're going to new beginnings and new starts and things here, which is perfect. That is the direction. That is the right direction if you're going in that direction. So I feel like regardless of whether there are twists or turns, you're going in the right direction, and you can trust spirit and where you're headed, especially regarding like finances. If you're worried, like that's going to be okay, is something I'm hearing randomly as well. The last message I had ahead of time, they showed me a bat. It was a past life healing. They said you are wrapping up past life healing phase, a past life healing phase. So things are going to move forward more easily. So I feel like you've been healing a lot more than you realize on many levels. Ancestral, what we just talked about, your past, maybe even your present, collective energies, things that aren't even yours. Like they're giving me this list of things, and it's time to move forward from that. Like healing phases aren't meant to be your whole life. It's one thing if you, like a healer told you like, oh, you're always healing, like, and it's beautiful, or like something like that's like Wolverine, where it's like, yeah, you're kind of always healing, you always had this going on. That's different. But if you're wrapped up in like trauma and shadow work 24/7 and you're never happy and you're always scrounging through shit, and I didn't mean to say that, you're always scrounging through crap and etc., you don't need to do that. And it kind of ruins the point of healing in some ways, because you're not getting to that better place you're meant to get to, to have the shifts in your reality that you were looking to have through the healing. You're just kind of healing for healing's sake. And is that really serving anyone, is like a question that maybe you would like to ask yourself. So that's kind of it for this reading. They're showing me a cheetah as well. It's about things are going way faster than you realize. You might think right now things are going slow, some of you, or even a lot of you, but you might look back in like a year or two and be like, oh no, things happened really quickly. I just felt like it was slow in the flow of it. So that'll be good, and things will be moving forward soon. So the last message they have for you, they're showing me like a light year, like the concept of a light year. They're showing me Buzz Lightyear in a spaceship as well. And what's the message here? Kind of like we already just talked about, like you're going to be going forward way faster than you realize in the next year here. Like it's going to be like warp speed, or, in a good way. So they're like, hang on to your hats, I suppose. Just know that's coming in. But that's it. I hope that was helpful. Did whatever was for the highest good for it to do for you. There's like a last message about healing the pace in your life, and that's kind of like what that's wrapping up. Like if things have been slow, I don't feel like they're going to be much longer. But that's it. So hope you're doing well. Hope that was helpful. I will see you on another post.